Welcome. So today we're going to talk about the testing process using QTP, how you are going to develop your scripts on a given any project. So the testing process involved, first you need to identify the requirements or the manual test cases that has to be automated. So that is the automation tester responsibility. First he has to locate the requirements, try to understand them, or if there are already test cases that are developed on the project, he is going to look at those test cases and then execute those manual test cases at least once in order to understand the functionality, or in order to better understand what are the different steps involved in this test case, and then you have the right data to perform those steps. So this is the basic step or the fundamental step before you start developing the scripts. You're going to look at what are the test cases that has to be automated. And then once you got these requirements, once you identify, okay, these are the requirements or the test cases that has to be automated, and the next step is you're going to identify what are the add-ins that are required for your application to test. There are different add-ins that are available with QTP, but you are going to look at which add-in that best works for your application. Obviously, if you are testing say Java application, you need a Java add-in, or if you are testing .NET application, you need .NET add-in, SAP add-in, mainframe add-in, web, Windows, and so on. There are different environments. The QTP supports a lot of environments, and you are going to select from those environments what your application is developed, and you are going to install appropriate plugin. So that is the next thing what you have to do. And once you got your requirements and you also did the QTP, both the things are ready, and the next step is you are going to create the framework. Anyway, we are going to discuss about this framework in all my future videos, but to give you an idea what is that framework is, it is nothing but set of guidelines or the standards how to develop different scripts on the project. These set of guidelines are the standards that explains to all the team members have to strictly follow in order to develop the scripts. That way the script templates and everything looks same, whoever developed the scripts, and anybody can easily understand those scripts. So that is the main intention, like wherever you're creating these standards as part of the framework, and also you're going to create a well organized directory structure as part of this framework. That means you are going to come up with different subfolders as part of the framework to identify, or in other words to store the appropriate files into the correct folder. What I mean is, say for example, if you create a data file, so that has to go to the data folder, or if you create some scripts, that has to go and sit in the scripts folder. If you have shared object repositories, all the shared object repositories has to go and store in the war folder. So this way, these are the different subfolders under the framework, and what are the files that you create, all those files has to go and store into different folders. It's basically something your file management, right? So for example, you have your tax files, or your kids school files, or your office files, or some other files like your home related files or your car files, whatever the things. These are the different documents that you want to keep them in different folders. That way you can better manage them. Otherwise, if you mix up everything, then it's very difficult for you to identify a particular document tomorrow. It's not an easy thing, right? That is the concept behind this framework. Even here also you create different folders, and they are going to store appropriate files into the right folder. That way tomorrow if you look at, say, okay, where are the WAR files for this project, then I simply go to the WAR folder and then search what's the WAR file you need. So that is also the other concept behind this framework. So once you create the framework, and the next step is you are going to do the you are going to develop the scripts. So here you can follow the different approaches how you are going to develop your scripting based on object repositories, and also wherever just you have this object repository issues, if the objects that are stored in the object repository, those are not enough for you to recognize that object uniquely in the script, then we go with the descriptive programming. That is where you are going to use different other properties to identify that object uniquely. So this is the mixed approach. So you can use the shared object repository along with the descriptive programming when you do the scripting. And then once the scripting is done, then you're going to look at different enhancements. Parameterization, okay, I want to test with multiple data variations, or I want to do some verification points in my script, you can do the checkpoints. Or I want to capture some runtime data from the application, okay, I go with output values. Or I have some dynamic objects in my application, okay, I can handle through regular expressions. Or no, I want to measure this transaction time, how much time it is taking for me to log into the application, I can go with the transactions. Or I want to develop some reusable actions so that I can make use of those reusable actions across different scripts. Or I have somewhere like I want to capture these mouse movements where I want to draw some picture on the application. There you can go with the n-log recording. You can also generate custom reports because you want to write your own results into the report, and then you're going to tell like, okay, whether login successful or not. That's where you're going to use the custom reporting, and also you're going to look at any runtime exceptions you handle through recovery scenarios. So these are the different kinds of enhancements what we do in the scripting. And then once your script is done, then you debug your script. This is nothing but line by line execution to make sure the logic what you do in the script is working. Logic is nothing but, so you are going to use different control statements. So you are going to make sure those control statements works, if else logic, for loop, and also whatever the data that you use in your script, you are getting the right data into your script. So you are going to look at all these different logic should work, and also you are getting the right data into the script. And the next step is you schedule your test runs. So you can use different ways. Either you can run your scripts in Quality Center, or you can run within QTP, or you can also do the VB scripting part to run your QTP scripts. Here you are going to use some automation object model, and also you can schedule your scripts through Windows Scheduler. So these are the different ways. You can also run your bash scripts. That means you want to run multiple scripts at the same time, and then do the result analysis. So you're going to compare the actual versus expert results and then see the status of the script, whether it's passed or failed. If it is failed, then you're going to report that issue to the development team and then keep track of all those issues. And then finally you're going to prepare your test reports. The preferred format is the HTML, and then you can post it on the company intranet. That way whoever is interested to look at the results, they can just go to that particular page and then see, okay, what's the status of your particular script. So this is what actually the process how we are going to develop the scripts using QTP. Thank you. We are going to look at some of these features in my future videos. So how we are going to develop the frameworks, what is the framework, we are going to discuss in detail in the future videos. Thank you. Thanks for your time, and thanks for watching this video. Bye. Have a good day.